Chief Engineer Alison Alvarez was having a nice meal in the corner of the station's mess hall, while drinking an obscene amount of coffee and having a heated discussion with an empty bar stool to her right. She was eating fries and a burger made with some kind of green meat she insisted on calling Soylent green, to the confusion of the AIM staff and the annoyance of her fellow humans. The fact any time someone asked her how her meal was, she would answer with, "It varies from person to person," wasn't making her any friends either. "Is this seat taken?" Alison turned to look at Conrad, who sat across from her. He was the man in charge of sentient resources, and bows to no king, the ranking AIM security officer with 4 of his guards, and behind them Dances in Shadows, the station's medical expert. "Hi, what can I help you with?" Conrad sat down. Bows to no king moved to his right as all 4 of his guards aimed their rifles in the general vicinity of the engineer. "Oh, not much. I have a few questions is all." Alison looked to the side, and tilted her head in confusion as she saw Dances in Shadows in a fencing posture, practicing lunges with a medical injector, like it was a rapier. "Yeah, a few questions, sure." She looked at the empty stool to her right, who refused to come to her aid. Spineless bastard. Now you decide to shut up? "I'll cut to the chase. You need to take a vacation and sleep sometime this week." "What? No, I'm fine." She took a sip of the pint full of hot coffee on her table, and looked to the empty bar stool to her right, which nodded in agreement. Conrad took his datapad, cleared his throat, and read, "Chief Engineer Allison has been seen, hands above her head looking into space, laughing maniacally for several seconds on numerous occasions for the last couple of weeks." Allison looked away and Conrad continued, "Having discussions with inanimate objects and making increasingly bad jokes." That last one you can disregard. "I disagree." Conrad gave the AIM a surprised look. "Laughing is not illegal and neither is talking to yourself." Conrad raised an eyebrow. Allison sighed. "Fine, I'm not supposed to talk about it, but the AIM government gave me a contract for a planetary defense station, and a rather large budget, and I may or may not have forgotten to sleep now and again as I worked on that." She ate a couple of fries and took a sip from her coffee pint, which yelled in pain. She chose to ignore the screams. "Tell you what, I propose to take it easy for the next few days and meet Dances in Shadows for a checkup. Deal?" Conrad nodded and began to get up, but then he narrowed his eyes and sat back down. "Show me the blueprints." Allison began to sweat. It's full of technical stuff. You'll be bored, trust me." Conrad raised his hand, and Bows to no king and his guards all aimed their rifles at Allison's head. "Allison?" Allison deflated, sent the plans to Conrad's datapad, crossed her arms and pouted. Conrad began to read, and very soon his eyes went wide. He pinched the bridge of his nose and said a single word. "Doc?" Dances in Shadows lunged towards Allison with a loud "Hey-ya!" and injected her with a sedative on the side of her neck. As she drifted into unconsciousness, Allison whispered, "Son of a..." and then gave an angry look to her own chair, which she thought had her back. Conrad sighed as the security guards picked her up and began carrying her to the infirmary under the watchful eye of Dances in Shadows. Bows to no king moved next to Conrad. "What was she making?" Conrad handed him the datapad. Bows to no king began to read. "Okay, the amount of weapons on that thing is ridiculous, but overkill is not part of the human dictionary, so I don't see any issues. Hell, some of this is really ingenious. I don't see any problems with this." He reread the project's name. "Peace Moon. The idea to use a terraforming drill to siphon power from a nearby star is genius." "Yeah, except it's the battle station's main weapon and the objective is to use it to blow up planets." Bows to no king gasped in shock. "What the hell? How did you figure that out?" Conrad picked some of Allison's fries and ate them. "Well, the design is a dead giveaway." He grabbed his datapad back and looked up page 14 of the blueprints, and zoomed in on the Death Star picture featured there. "At least if you're human."